Jack Blair here. Great to have you joining me today. And today we're continuing on with that whole bit of like leaving the garden and the Garden of Eden. If you join us for the first time, we've been talking about that time of life, right, where we have this beautiful sort of paradise-like state in our lives, and then life moves on, and we can't ever get back to what it was, but we can't go forward from that. And today, I'm going to be telling you a story, and we've been thinking a lot. Yesterday when we were talking, I think this idea is really important. That while we may leave that paradise spot, we may leave that paradise spot. We have to move forward. We can't go back. That while we may leave that, it will never leave us. I think that's super important, and that's a real key part of Christian New Church theology. But there's those parts that remain, hence called remains, those parts that remain with us. And we just get these moments, these little glimpses, I think, where we get to see what that's all about. And so today, weirdly, I'm going to be telling you a little story. And I know that we've been talking about this for a number of days. So I thank you for your patience and just listening through it, because I think there's a lesson in here for me. I imagine there's a lesson in here for all of us. So the story is this: on my days off, as most of you, or probably nearly all of you know what I do is I go out and I do auctions. And auctions are fun because they're anonymous, they're silly, uh, nothing big is on on the line, and I play a little game with myself at auctions often, which is what I try to do, is to buy some things. But if I buy something for myself, I try to buy something that I can sell online to make up for the cost of what I actually would like. So it's a silly little game, and it's a net zero game. And so on Monday I was at an auction out in the Lancaster area, and this quilt came up for sale. So I bought it at a very, very cheap price, and I'm just thinking like, oh, it's just a quilt. I'll be able to sell that, quickly, and, make enough money for what I want to get, blah, 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 blah. And it's not expensive. Like, we're talking like, dollars here, not hundreds of dollars. And so I got the quilt home and I washed it, and I thought, oh, this is a lot prettier quilt than what I thought. So I showed it to my wife, and she's like, oh yeah, that's a handmade quilt. And I want to show you some of the handwork on this, and take a look at that handwork on that, folks. I mean, really, like something else, right? And I look at this, and I think, there's another part here, like this is the other pattern that's part of it. If you can see this pattern right down here, I think how that, the more I looked at it, the more I thought, how the heck did they do that? Now, I'd already sold it online, so it was just kind of funny having a little seller's remorse there. But it was really was something else, and it was like, wow, that person. I mean, how much time? Whoever made this, how much time did it take them just to do that part? And how much skill does it take to be able to just do this, right? Like this little beaded work here. How much time and like how the heck do you do that? Just this square alone is beyond what I could comprehend doing. I think when we see beauty in its form, and I saw it in the form of this quilt, I think it's an echo from someplace beautiful. It's an echo from someplace beautiful, where we look back at it, and it's just this reminder of, again, that paradise thing, that beautiful thing. I mean, I look at a quote like this, and my mind goes to thoughts of, all right, who is this person who made this? What were they thinking? And dollars to donuts, they were thinking of somebody they loved. Was it done for a couple about to get married? Was it done for a grandchild? Was it done for a spouse? Who was it done for? You don't do work like that unless it's absolutely a labor of love, because the amount of labor in it is extraordinary, right? And our culture doesn't necessarily value that. Our culture doesn't necessarily see that. I didn't until I really started to look. Um, no doubt, I'm sure there's over 100 hours of work in this quilt, and I got it for a handful of dollars. And folks, that's just interesting, right? And And I got it for a handful of dollars because no one there, me included, had seen the echo of beauty in this, or had put themselves in the place of the person who made it. And isn't that a great way to sort of think of how God might see life too? Like I think God's, I mean, really? Like I think God's doing this all the time. And we lose track because we're going too fast and we're just thinking about the flip. Again, I bought it just thinking about flipping it, which I did. And and I think a lot of us get caught into that. I certainly do. It's just about the flip. It's just about the next thing, the next transaction, the next this, the next that. Instead of taking the time to actually have a sense of awe. And that sense of awe always brings us back to the garden. It brings us back to these echoes of some place beautiful. And Christian New Church theology consistently points to God speaking, and when God speaks, it echoes back to this and hits on that in our hearts, and that's how we know how to move forward. Emanuel Swedenborg called that conscience or perception, and he talks about that as being the highest form of wisdom, and it's because embedded in us is this garden. That while we have left, it has never left us. So, folks, however that looks for you today, just take time to just be still enough. Again, we're going to do a meditation here in a minute, but be still enough to really hear the echoes from someplace beautiful. You will see them today. I mean, I think they're all around us. It's a little like that old thing, right? How many birds did we pass today? And probably like, oh, I didn't pass any. Probably a lot of you are like, well, I didn't pass any. Well, you passed hundreds. You just weren't looking. And I think that's so much part of life. And today, maybe together, we can just start looking a little bit, start listening a little bit, start to see and hear the echoes from someplace beautiful, just in a small way. When you do, just take a breath, rest with it, be with it, thank God for it, know that life is very good because of it. So that's my thought for this morning, folks. A little quilt story for you. So with that, dear friends, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a little meditation, followed by a little prayer, followed by a little blessing, and when that's all done, we'll say hi to folks on social media. So with that, friends, let's get a little breath. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, let's hop on to little social media here. And again, we do broadcast onto a number of different platforms, of which I am not on all of them. So we really just look at one or two that we can access in a hurry. But please leave a comment, and you can leave it anywhere you would like, and we will chat about it as as we can. All right. Susan out of Michigan writes, good morning, and good morning to you. So hopefully it's getting all warm out there and beautiful in Michigan. No doubt it is. Sherry, I see it's still raining, right? And I like that idea that you were a fan of tin roofs. And yeah. I hope one of these days you guys get to use our cabin because it sure is a fun little place. Patricia, great to see you this morning, and I hope you're doing well. Susan, good morning. Yeah, it really, I mean, it's like, how do people, I don't even know how you figure out how to make a quilt like that. It's just kind of, uh, uh, pretty amazing. Marcus writes, "Good morning." Uh, Sherry writes, "It's a crocheted spread and took forever to make. I have one that my great grandmother made for my parents' wedding gift. Lucky me." Yeah, and I would imagine it would have to be because I can't even. I don't know how you measure it. You might have an idea. I don't know how you measure out how to do all that stuff. Really, something else. Sully out of Michigan writes, "We'll definitely keep still. Um, we'll definitely keep still to notice the echoes." And it's so true. Like in there, they're all around. A favorite quote of mine from Elizabeth Bear Browning talking about the burning bush. She said, "Every bush is how does it work? Every bush is aflame with the glory of God. Some see blackberries, others see the glory." Something like that. Anyhow, it's just a beautiful quote about that. And Mary writes, "And isn't God generous in the bounty of creativity we manifest in so many ways and in such diversity?" That's really well said, Mary. Quilts like this remind me that we are made in the image of God and just how beautiful that is when we allow it to bloom. It's so true. It really is. Like how that was in their mind was just incredible. Paige, good morning to you, and I hope you're doing well. Deborah writes, thank you for the blessing of this holy time together. And it really is has a very holy time. So thank you for saying that, Deborah. Somebody I was talking to yesterday said how much they appreciate all this. And I keep on echoing this. I really appreciate it as well. It definitely helps my days get started on the right foot, so to speak. Sherry, good morning to you. I hope you're doing well, my friend. And Linda writes, so beautiful. And I could not agree more. So, friends, I'm just wishing you all the very best with the rest of your day. As Sully noted, may you have a little quiet so you can hear the echoes of someplace beautiful. Take care. God bless. Bye bye.